How's it going, guys? Is everyone here? Yeah, let's get started. If everyone wants to have a seat, get a drink, get something. Everyone comfortable? Yeah, are we waiting for anyone else? Okay. You want me to get started? Yeah, let's get started. Okay, so my name is Matty, and I've been part of the book club for almost 4 months now. And so I was chosen this week to pick a new book for us as we finished the last one last week. I've brought with me 4 books that I think would be really, really good, that you guys would like. And basically today I'm just going to go through them a little bit, and then we'll take a vote, and then we'll go from there. Okay? That sound good? You guys ready? Okay, let's do it. So the first book that I brought is called A Brave New World, by an author named Aldous Huxley. And I'm sure if you've ever taken a literature class or an English class in school, this is a classic, and it's really, really amazing. I haven't read it in about 10 years or so. I read it in high school, and so I'm interested in reading it again because I think I would comprehend it more now. But anyway, Aldous Huxley is an incredible writer, and this is essentially about a utopian future, where the population is genetically bred and pharmaceutically fed, I guess you could say, to serve a ruling order, I guess you could say. And so the cool thing about this book, let me double check the date. Hold on. Let's published. Okay, so this was published 1932. So keep that in mind, 1932. And reading this book now in 2017, it's possible that it's more relevant now than it was in 1932. It's like it's almost eerie how dead on he is. How obviously we're not genetically bred here, but we're so connected, and at the same time, we're probably the most connected we've ever been. We are, actually, and we're probably the most disconnected that we've ever been as well as humans. And then I won't go into details and stuff, but the pharmaceutical companies, and you just heard the horror stories of them keeping people on things. Anyway, we won't get into that. But if anything, it's really cool to read something that was written in 32 and have it be this relevant in 2017. It's really, really amazing. It's a little bit scary, honestly, to me. It was a little bit scary just because it sounds like it's almost like he had the DeLorean and went forward in time, came here and saw how we are, and then went back and wrote this book. It's just it's crazy. It's listed under fiction, but man, it's about as close to nonfiction as you can get to me. So anyway, book number 1, Brave New World, Aldous Huxley. Cool. And I see a lot of you taking notes. That's awesome. And then at the end, when I'm done with the 4 books, then we'll choose. Hold your votes till we're done going through the 4 books, and then we'll figure it out. Okay, so Book number 1, Brave New World, Aldous Huxley. Cool. Okay, book number 2. I like to give you guys info, so let me figure out what year it was published. I'm always fascinated by that. So this was published 2004. Okay, and this book is called J. Okay, by Howard Jacobson. And the reason I brought this book is because it's a fictional novel. Okay, but what's cool about this is it was written in 2014, and it's technically, if you read it, it draws parallels from A Brave New World in 1984. So it's, from what I've read, I haven't read this one, but what I read is it draws a lot of parallels to A Brave New World, and it's a futuristic world where apparently no one is allowed to say words that start with J for some reason, and they don't really tell you why. But yeah, on the back here it says it's a proactive dystopian fantasy. From The Guardian, a writer, John Burnside, says a remarkable comparisons do not do justice to Jacobson's achievement in what may well come to be seen as the dystopian British novel of its time. So, I think this sounds awesome. This might be my personal vote. But we'll see. In fact, if we do this, though, it might actually be cool to read A Brave New World first, as it's, being compared to it, I guess. So, anyway, Howard Jacobson, and the book is J. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. Yeah, I know. I don't think that it would matter the order that we read these in between this and Brave New World, because again, I don't think it's it's certainly not a sequel. I think it's just being compared to it. Because it has kind of a futuristic feel to it. So, okay. Next, let's do this. Next book is more of a comedy, and it's one of my favorite actors, and this is Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari. And I'm not sure how many of you have watched Parks and Rec, but he is he's a character on Parks and Rec, and this is his book. And I haven't read, when I bought it, I read maybe 2 pages of it, and it's definitely really funny. It has a lot of illustrations in it, so you can kind of see, like, he has like text messages in it, and just excerpts and photos, and just really, really funny things to kind of break up a book, if that makes sense. Yeah, a lot of photos, just a lot of funny stuff. This was a New York Times #1 seller. And I think on the back here from the Rolling Stone, it gives a really, really great way to sum this book up. It says it's It's a hilarious, often unsettling account of what young singles go through as they search for love in the digital age. And so, all of us are about the same age, right? Yeah. And so, I think this would be an interesting read for us. Yeah, I think it's, obviously different than those first two. I think it would be, it would be a good read, and I think it would be really, really funny too. So, and I'm a huge fan of Aziz too. So yeah, that's the third book, Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari. Okay. And last but not least, this isn't necessarily a novel, and I know in the past we've been pretty much just doing novels, but someone, actually I heard a few of you talking, and a few of us spoke last week about our love for J.K. Rowling, and so I brought this. And this is the Tales of Beetle and Bar. And if you've seen the movies or read the books, this book was made popular in the Deathly Hallows book and movie, because Hermione reads one of the 3 stories in this book. And basically, this is a book, if I remember correctly, of 3 tales that a lot of wizards and witches grew up with, having their parents read them. So the thing about this is, the reason I brought this is because I know there's a lot of Potter fans here, but also it's a really short read. In fact, if you guys wanted to go through this today, we could knock this out in half an hour and discuss. But I don't know what your guys' schedules are looking like. But anyway, this is The Tales of Beetle and Bar by J.K. Rowling. And if anything, I guess I would explain it as an extension of the world, I guess. So, yeah, that's book number 4. Okay. So, what do you guys think? Yeah, no, they all sound really great. Just to be clear, I'm in for any of them. I'm open. So, you want to take a vote? Let's do it. Okay. So, let's take a vote. Okay, so how many people? 1, 2, 3. So there's 9 9 including me. Okay. Should my vote count? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's do it. Okay. So book number 1, Brave New World, Aldous Huxley. Show of hands. Yeah. Let's only vote once. That would be. Yeah. Let's vote once. Okay. Okay. So Brave New World. 2 people. Okay. Okay. All right. J. By Howard Jacobson. Show hands. Okay. Yeah, again, we're only voting once, so save your vote if this isn't your book. Okay. So 1 vote for that, okay? Modern Romance, Aziz Ansari. Two votes, okay? Okay, so that would mean Tales of B. Lombard. 4. Okay, so it sounds like Tales of B. Lombard 1. Are you guys interested in just doing some of this right now? Okay. My favorite story in this is called The Tale of Three Brothers. And it was in the Deathly Hallows part 1, I want to say, movie. And then of course in the book. So I can read it if you guys want. It's like 4 pages. You want to do that? Okay. Yeah, and then the other 2 we can read on our own and then come back. Okay. Okay, so this is the tale of the three brothers, out of the Tales of Beetle the Bard by J.K. Rowling. Okay. There were once 3 brothers who were traveling along a lonely, winding road at twilight. In time, the brothers reached a river too deep to wade through and too dangerous to swim across. However, these brothers were learned in the magical arts, and so they simply waved their wands and made a bridge appear across the treacherous water. They were halfway across it when they found their path blocked by a hooded figure. And Death spoke to them. He was angry that he had been cheated out of 3 new victims for traveling usually drowned in the river. But Death was cunning. He pretended to congratulate the 3 brothers upon their magic and said that each had earned a prize for having been clever enough to evade him. So the oldest brother, who was a combative man, asked for a wand more powerful than any in existence, a wand that must always win duels for its owner, a wand worthy of a wizard who had conquered death. So Death crossed to an elder tree on the banks of the river, fashioned a wand from a branch that hung there, and gave it to the oldest brother. Then the second brother, who was an arrogant man, decided that he wanted to humiliate Death further, and so he asked for the power to recall others from death. So Death picked up a stone from the riverbank and gave it to the second brother, and told him that the stone would have the power to bring back the dead. And then Death asked the third and youngest brother what he would like. The youngest brother was the humblest and also the wisest of the brothers, and he did not trust Death. So he asked for something that would enable him to go forth from that place without being followed by Death. And Death, most unwillingly, handed over his cloak of invisibility. Then Death stood aside and allowed the 3 brothers to continue on their way. And they did so, talking with wonder of the adventure that they had and admiring Death's gifts. In due course, the brothers separated, each for his own destination. The first brother traveled on for a week or more, and reaching a distant village, sought out a fellow wizard with whom he had a quarrel. Naturally, the elder wand as his weapon, he could not fail to win the duel that followed. Leaving his enemy dead upon the floor, the oldest brother proceeded to an inn, where he boasted loudly of the powerful wand he had snatched from Death himself, and how it made him invisible. That night, another wizard crept upon the oldest brother as he lay, wine-sodden, upon his bed. The thief took the wand and, for a good measure, slit the oldest brother's throat. And so Death took the first brother for his own. Meanwhile, the second brother journeyed to his home, where he lived. He took out the stone that had the power to recall the dead, and turned it thrice in his hand. To his amazement and his delight, the figure of the girl he had once hoped to marry before an untimely death appeared at once before him. Yet she was sad and cold, separated from him by a veil. Though she had returned to the mortal world, She did not truly belong there, and she suffered. Finally, the second brother, driven mad with hopeless longing, killed himself so as truly to join her. And so death took the second brother for his own. Though death searched for the third brother for many years, he was never able to find him. It was only when he had attained a great age that the younger brother finally took off the cloak of invisibility and gave it to his son. And then he greeted death as an old friend and went with him gladly as equals. They departed this life. So if you've read The Deathly Hallows or any of the books, this is this kind of adding to it. But cool. So we have copies of this for everybody, and so grab this at the door, and then read the other two, and then when we meet next week, we'll go over it, and then we'll have someone else pick the next book. Sound good? Okay, well, I want to thank everyone for coming, and thank you for nominating me to choose the next book. This was awesome. So, thanks for coming, and I will see you guys next week. All right?